Hello viewers, thank you for watching. It is Dilster here, aka Binster. Another name is catching on for reasons I cannot fathom. I couldn't possibly tell you why. But we're going to look at a couple of daily races, back-to-back daily races we did last week at Barcelona. And it was an interesting battle, back-to-back battle with P1 just ahead of us. So this is actually a clip from the first race, which we really set the stage with this one. So pretty much straight away we were absolutely going for it. We were really nip and tuck all the way throughout the lap, and whilst we managed to get ourselves through on the final lap, we knew that if we came up against them again in the next race, it was never going to be so easy. But here we are, we're coming onto the pit straight, we're really starting to hoover them in now. And I normally find that with the 911, if you are around about 3/10 adrift, you're in with a shout. Here we are, we're steaming up to the braking point, making sure we're not going to brake too late, certainly not too early. Here we go, hold it around the outside. And it's really tricky to hold and not ultimately put too much gas on, because you've got to give them room on the right, make sure that you're clear, you can't squeeze them off track. And there we are in front. And it was pretty much nip and tuck from here on. The crucial thing is track position around Barcelona. But there we are, we managed to bring it home only 2/10 ahead. So really good opening race, and I really quite enjoyed that. Now, obviously, we were going to do another race at this point. I think we did these races at something like 1 in the morning, so, you know, I was a little bit worse for wear, and I'm not going to lie, I had a couple of beers, so a bit compromised there. So obviously, after a warm-up and an obligatory bin, which is customary of a warm-up, we are into race number 2, and guess what, folks? Yep, we have P1 and P2 exactly the same, so it is round 2. The question is, how's it going to go? I mean, I knew there's no way that Catherine GT was going to make it easy for me this time, not a chance. So let's see how we go. And on the opening lap, we just begin to hoover him in with the 911, really screaming it up to that 9,000 RPM red line. That's one of the things I absolutely love about the Porsche, especially when you've got races where you don't have to worry about fuel saving. The red line is just sublime. Right, here we go into turn 1, 2 and 3. It's really tricky to get this right, and I tend to find that pushing too hard is what can really compromise this corner, turn 3. You really want to get a good exit here. But it's also extremely easy to put way too much through your tyres, and over a 10-lap race with slightly high tyre wear, it's really going to affect your pace towards the end. So the question is, are we going to pull off the same move that we did last time into turn 1 after the final lap? But damn, we're going to try. We just need to stay close, and we could see that the pressure was on. We were really close halfway through the lap, so we just had to hold on, keep it close, keep the pressure on, not make any rash moves or dive bombs, because what you got to remember, of course, is we're not even 3/10 of a second in front of P2. Now here's where things get a little bit interesting, and this is where I like to talk about defensive driving, but being smart about it. Take a look at this. We've got P3 dive bombing around the outside, and I just knew he was in reach. When we look at it, I thought, I'm not going to go for a move on P1. I just want to cover my base with P3 and then just hold it tight, because ultimately if P3 is coming up the back of P1, it makes it a lot harder for him to be able to hold it around the outside. It's still a risk, but it's a lot better than trying to stay on the outside and run the risk of outbraking yourself into the back of P1 and making everything 10 times worse. So that was me just thinking smart and considering the guy in front and also the guy behind to hold position, not make any rash moves, and set myself up for, you guessed it, the pit lane straight all the way into turn 1. It's crucial that you get a good exit here. Let's have a look how it goes. He's moving to the right, he's definitely going to make it difficult. We're a little bit further away this time as well, so is it really going to come together? Let's have a look. We're certainly in the mix, but oh no, look what we did. We pretty much smacked his backside with the front right of our car. So a cheeky little spank there. I'm not really sure how he would have felt about that, but I certainly didn't really plan to do that. So I guess it's going to be looking towards the next lap. So let's have a look at the end of lap 2, start of lap 3. Is it going to happen this time? Let's find out. I know that it was going to be difficult even on the start of this lap, but we were still going to go for it. We're going to break balls deep here, but sadly, Catherine is not messing about. So I thought, oh boy, just as I expected, we're going to have a much more difficult race. So what am I thinking about here with respect to how I'm going to get in front? Well, I don't exactly want to be too brash. We're just going to skip forward through the laps here. We're going to go all the way to around about halfway through lap 5. I knew that it was important to actually just stay close, keep the pressure on, but also try to nurse my tyres, because if I'm getting a slipstream, you know, you just let that help you along and not put too much into the corners, and then maybe mount attack towards the end. So we've still got pretty good tyre life at this stage. But, and there's always a but when the evil penalty system comes out to play, and this, you all know my feelings on the penalty system, we all know our feelings on all penalty systems, but there it is, boom. Naturally, I was pretty upset about that, but I wasn't going to let it completely derail me. We are going to crack on, but I also thought, right, we absolutely need to get in front, because we're going to lose half a second. I don't want to lose the slipstream here, so we're really going to go for a move. We're not going to be disrespectful, we're going to keep it clean, but I wanted to get ahead. But as expected, proper elbows out there. I think that was fair play. I mean, I definitely chewed my bottom lip and felt a little bit frustrated, but that is racing. You have to take it on the chin sometimes, even if your ego is a little bit miffed. Difficult thing to do. Right, it is definitely not completely game over here, so we're going to speed it up until we get a little bit more action towards the dying moments. And I knew I just had to slowly rake him in, keep it tidy, get close, not wreck the tyres, because if I'm going to make a move and it's going to be wheel to wheel, which it has been on every attempt, I really want to have that edge on grip, because it's going to make a huge difference. So, crunch time. This is it. This is the last real opportunity to get by. How's it going to shape up? It's gone a little bit wide on the exit, so that definitely plays into my hand. We're under 3/10 when we cross the start-finish line. It is absolutely game on. Let's see how we go. So he's covering the inside just like before. I'm going to move to the left, and this time I'm not going to mess about. I'm going to brake as late as possible. I'm really going to try and hold it around the outside this time. Really, really tight. See, I'm trying to keep it tight. I'm not going to use him to keep myself on the track. And here we are. We're just going to get really, really close. It's looking good. Now this is where it gets interesting. This is the really good wheel-to-wheel battle that we had. There's a little bit of a miscommunication coming out on the exit of this corner. We had a little bit of contact just here, but no big deal, because nobody got a penalty, so it's still game on. Everybody is smiling. We are still racing. Right, moment of truth, because we didn't manage to get it on the pit straight, so this is it. Send it down the inside, keeping it tidy. A little bit of elbows, voila, job done. I was supremely happy with that, and I knew it was going to be stupidly difficult to get through, but we managed to do it. We managed to keep our cool, look after the tyres, keep the pressure on, and ultimately take the lunge down the inside. Absolutely beautifully done. What I love is P2 just is not going to give up. Look at him, he's going full Colin McRae to try and catch up in the dying moments, and I absolutely love his valiant display of never giving up. Look at that. Absolutely sliding all over the place. It's not even over. Even on the final corner, he's going absolutely sideways on the exit. He's really going for it. So absolute hats off to P2. I have to say, I really thoroughly enjoyed racing Kevin GT. We had two really solid blockbuster races, really evenly matched, and it was just great fun. Obviously, we came away with both wins, so we earned the right to have a little bit of a smug face. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, and I wanted to also talk a little about the technical standpoint of, you know, the thinking behind what puts you in a position to make an overtake, because when you're in these situations and, you know, really, really, really badly want to get through, and I know this feeling, hand on heart I know this feeling, but you've just got to think about the long game and know that if you stay really close to people, maybe fake lunges where you don't actually lunge and just constantly putting stress and pressure on them, you're much more likely to force them into a mistake where you actually get that opportunity. It's still ludicrously hard, but even when you're finding yourself not getting through, I've seen before how people just cannot accept that they couldn't get through, so they start to use these sort of really aggressive, properly barging people out of the way sort of tactics. And It's really not something I encourage, and it never looks good, and it's never really something to celebrate about. You know, nobody wants to win because they literally sideswiped someone and got through. I was even doing a race on Interlagos this week, and we were setting ourselves up for a photo finish on the back straight, and I think it was for P4, and just as we were coming up to the line of Interlagos, he literally pushed me up into the wall to prevent me from taking that position, and it was just the saltiest thing, and it's never a good look. I promise you, anybody watching this, I assure you, it's never a good look, and I strongly advise against it. So viewers, I hope you really enjoyed that. I certainly enjoyed trying to make this video. This is the first of many, I hope. I'm a little bit rusty on my narration, I assure you, but I will simply try to improve. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Cheers!